Hey Scorpio, this is your general tarot reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of June. Scorpio, let's do as we always do. We're going to shuffle the cards and wait on all the right ones to come out for you, my love, as that jumped out there. The Tower. Yeah, so let's talk about the energies while we're waiting on the rest of the cards. We're leaving behind May, still feeling the effect of that big Scorpio full moon, the reset, the start over, the big climactic moment, the climax of some high pressure that was going on inside of you that finally was allowed to release. Maybe you had been overly tense or overly focused for such a long time on other people's emotional needs, other people's dramas, maybe observing other people's behavior and feeling that somehow it infringed upon your life in some way. But there was this moment, as the first card suggests, a tower moment where something had to come down, something had to be destroyed, a belief about something, an understanding between you and another person, or an understanding of a situation. It just had to come down in order for you to start again from a better sense of, from the ground up, a better foundation. It could have been whatever situation this was, family, friend, work, anything. It was, this has reached boiling point and I now have to destroy, one of your favorite words, destroy, in order to let that shit fall. It's almost the feeling, really, Scorpio, of having held on too tightly for something for so long, trying to keep something together, trying to keep yourself together, trying to keep it together, and then there was one big moment where you said, no, let that bitch fall, let it fall. And I'm over here with my glass of tequila or whatever saying, sayonara bitch, because I'm starting over. Maybe in some cases even from the ground up, like something is leveled and you have to build all over again, because it is time for your needs to be really heard, because you've a lot going on. There's a few things, but what I'm really feeling strongly for you this month is the Saturn-Pluto effect. And that is, this month you're really wanting now to leave this thing behind of other people always having a say in your life, other people always having some input, other people always throwing their words in, always throwing their 2 cents in, always just somewhat confusing you. You get an idea, you think it up, seems to make perfect sense, let me run with this. Oh no, wait a moment, somebody has jumped in and put a different thought in my mind and made me doubt my original thought, my original plan, my original perception of this whole thing. And you're getting very, again, at that point this month where you're saying, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to listen to outside narrative anymore, because it has really, in some cases, fucked me up. Now is a time for me to focus with great passion and intensity on listening to a healthier narrative, maybe even becoming, again, more connected to my spirituality, more connected to a higher truth. Even if you're not religious or spiritual or anything like that, at least some original part of you that had a bigger understanding of life in general and situations and people in general. This is where you go home to that this month and say, I'm going to silence all of that noise, all of those noisy bitches coming in and confusing me and giving me half-truths, half bits of information. I feel there's this energy too, Scorpio, of always feeling that you're not getting ever all the information that you need. So you might be standing up for somebody, standing up for the underdog, or even the opposite, criticizing somebody. And yet there's a moment, maybe a few times, where you had to stop and say, oh my God, I just jumped right in there and I wasn't given all the information. And again, I've been made to look like a fool. Again, I've been made to feel like the baddie, the bad guy, the bad bitch, because I was only given half frickin' truths. And that's dangerous to do that to me. It's dangerous to pour emotion on me, kind of crying over, well, my boyfriend did this to me or my girlfriend did that. And you say, let me at them, I'll go in and tell them off. And you go in and you find out it was actually the person who cried on your shoulder that was the major asshole. So it's this thing of you now waking up and saying, I am not falling for that anymore. These half-truths, these going in and defending people even who didn't give me all the story. And it's not okay. And again, I'm really feeling this, Scorpio, really feeling it. We touched upon it last month of where are all the decent people? Where are all the real people? You know, you remember that. But again, it's really coming to a point now where you're saying, I'm no longer asking. I'm just no longer asking because I'm not going to get the right answer unless I shut that exterior noise out and stop letting other people fill my mind with half-truths and start seeking my own truth here. And then everything will make sense. Once I'm listening to myself, that family situation makes sense. My home life situation makes sense. Friends makes sense. Where I want to go in my life, my work, everything, it'll all make sense. Because I'm not bombarded with an endless stream of useless, going nowhere information. I have to get back to trusting my own self and my own information. So, and there's where the magic is, your second card, the Magician. Also quite a Gemini card, and this is Gemini season, helping you, pre-eclipse season, which is next month, to really get this magic going. He is the word master, the messenger, the communicator, and he's saying, it's time to learn again how to communicate based on something that is not bits and pieces of information, like we said, but something more core truth. And there's where your magic journey absolutely begins. Gossip is gone. Getting half sides of the story, gone. If you can burn that up, you're getting gorgeous cards. If you can burn that up, then you are well on your way to a much healthier frame of mind and a much better life with peace, for goodness sake, with peace, which is what you really need now, you know, because this is a month, we have Neptune retrograding this month, and for you it's retrograding, in your 5th house. This is a month where you have to go back and just get lost in your hobbies, get lost in the things that give you pleasure. Because there could have been a real moment there, Scorpio, where you were so trapped with all the hard and sharp angles of other people's lives and the things going on with you, you'd totally forgotten how to go back and have fun, to take personal risks in trusting your own inner narrative, to take a risk of not going along with the flow, but instead saying, this is my truth. And I'm going with that, you know, not being held or bound by any communication limitations here. I'm feeling that too. But it's time to go back and start playing again, to get creative and to take your mind off those hard and sharp angles. Because when you create, you'll be creating from a beautiful, soulful place. For some of you, Neptune retrograding in the 5th house might mean real fun and pleasure time with children, for those of you with children, even nieces, nephews, grandchildren, whatever. It's going back and creating a beautiful softness with them, and maybe learning a whole lot from children, how easy it is for them to just go about their lives in a happy way, because they're not overly concerned with he said, she said, and they said, and I got a half-truth. They just, if they're angry at something, they throw a tantrum, because that's how they feel. If they're happy about something, they'll just get so happy and delighted. And it's like, get back to that. Get back to knowing how you personally feel about things. Now, what's supporting that, Scorpio, is the Sun in Gemini, Mercury in Gemini as we enter the month. There's great strength in the 8th house, which is a very nice place for you to be, which is about strengthening your core passion, strengthening your core ferocity, even in some cases. This is a real moment where you get to see the real motivations of other people and yourself. Kind of seeing how there's a dance between mismatched motivations. Not hopefully getting too caught up in trying desperately to figure out what another person is thinking. What do they think of me? What do they think? What's going on? That can border on the obsessive side also, with Mercury in the 8th house, desperately focused and obsessed and trying to figure out another person's plan and what they're thinking of you. And in a negative, that can melt your mind. That's why I kind of started with that previous energy of let that shit go. But instead, use this gorgeous energy to get super focused on things that are making you happy. And also, look, let's not paint rainbows and fairies and sparkle dust here either. To get super focused on taking care of you in a real way, like super focused on sitting down privately and asking yourself, am I obsessing over certain people or a certain situation? Maybe I need to put some of that very zoned in focus into my motivations for that too. So this can all be used healthily. And again, healthy, I'm going back to that. Where was I going with that? It's like, do your very best not to try to force a kind of happy feeling this month. Because sometimes that can be really fucking, unhealthy, where we choose to ignore darker aspects of ourselves. 8th house energy this month in Gemini season is, let's play with this shit, but in a good way, in a positive way, I can build on this way for my happiness, my peace of mind. I can work on my own psychology. I can work on my own motivations for doing X, Y, and Z. And I can sit with it and get pissed off with it and all those range of emotions, Analysing your own responses to things might be a good exercise here, and purging and transforming some things that maybe outside of you that weren't great, but also some things that are inside you. Now, I'm not judging them. I'm not saying the things that are inside you aren't great. The kind of vibe is purging the things that are inside of you that aren't progressive anymore in your life. That's really what it's all about. If they're not helping you, they're hindering you. So magic, self-exploration, self-focus, analysing your own motivations is a powerful magic for you this month too. So that's kind of nice. Now, June 3rd, new moon in Gemini. June 9th, Venus in Gemini in the 8th house. So again, more focus of a big cluster of effect there in the 8th house, which is all about magic, which is all about deep soul, fire. I'm tuning it, and it means lots of things, but I'm getting the vibe here for you. It's all about transforming yourself, essentially. The phoenix from the flame effect, which is what you completely represent. Setting fire to the things in you, to the trash in you that you've accumulated, maybe from other people, and the things they've hung on you. Burn that shit. Kind of spiritually burn it so you can rise up again. So that's very powerful. It's a very strong month, Scorpio, where I have to stress this and underline this. Let positive work be done with this energy. To get all obsessed with something negative outside of you won't work to your advantage. Won't work to your advantage. You've got Mars in Cancer in the 9th house. June 4th, Mercury goes into Cancer. And this is all 9th house energy of taking the higher moral ground, seeing the bigger picture, not responding from that primal level just to go in and bark and bite and sting, but instead to stand back and say, well, I've tried that. I only end up losing from this. This is kind of not what you want anymore. Taking that higher moral ground into spirituality and something bigger where you say, I'm going to push that negative energy away from me and put all my energy into just taking the higher road. Absolutely. Now, speaking of taking the higher road, there could be a big interest for you on taking new roads. Traveling, going on vacation, going to places that clean your mind, like going to somewhere natural or somewhere that's not, that kind of club kind of vacation. It's more like I need to go to parks, nature reserves, places where I can expand from my soul. There's a real need, Scorpios, I'm going into your energy of, I need to expand my soul. I was feeling trapped, getting smaller. My life was being pushed into a box. I need to just burst out and be free and breathe. So traveling, even if it's just local nature places that you can go to, your local park, and just hang out there, don't loiter, but just hang out there with nature as much as you can. And even if that's not an option for you this month, when you come home in the evening, just watch National Geographic. I want to see something more natural in my life. I want to know what it feels like to be free again. So a vacation far away, even being very super interested in eating kind of other cultural foods, things like that, interested in other languages, other ways to live, alternative lifestyles too. It's just like, I don't like where I am, so I need something to refresh my possibilities. I can possibly live like that. I can possibly be as free as that. I can possibly create from a space that's a bit more unlimited. I can do it all. So it's a very strong and beautiful and very powerful, and in some cases very, very deep and sexual. For those of you in a relationship, there are real strong bonds. The kind of intense breakup and make-up kind of lovemaking here. It's like, I've got to purge this. So a lot of you, I know, might purge through sex, intensity, or even with your partner or friends or somebody. There's an absolute need to open up on a very deep level and have those conversations that are game-changing, they're not afraid. Talk to people who are not afraid to talk about life, death, birth, grief, sorrow, pain, the deeper, darker things, the meaning of things, the hidden hand or the shadow behind certain things in our lives. Because for you, Scorpio, you're not like many of the other signs. Instead of this getting you down, like it might maybe another sign talking about such heavy things, it doesn't do that. It has the absolute opposite effect. It brings that shit up to be burned. Yeah, like a great big trash incinerator, bringing the darker stuff up to be burned once and for all, so you don't have to keep swallowing down that poison. So that's powerful, and it's life-changing. Because what's changing here, is it outside stuff that are changing? Perhaps, but this is more about, I'm going to be free of this shit, and this is the game changer. So it's very nice, very, very nice. 4 cards. I'm going to just focus on a couple more things there, and then we'll get the rest of the cards, Scorpio, because this is an intense month, very intense. We have on June 17th the full moon in Sagittarius in your 2nd house, where perhaps some issue about money might finally come to a head and be resolved. An issue about things that you value in your life also coming to a head. It's the things in your life that you value and the people in your life that you value. There's just such a sharp focus this month on saying, I've got to get this more organized. I can't let people interfere in what I hold valuable, my personal space, my beliefs, my home, my family, my sacred spaces. I'm going to value that shit more. And I'm going to start defending that first. These are the spaces that give me freedom. So creating spaces for people and things that you treasure. Creating spaces, as I said, with people that you can have these deep conversations with, your partner, friend, family member, that creates a new, broader space, a broader understanding of everything that's going on in your life. So it's intense, but I think you'll really enjoy it, because there's something about that feeling for you, Scorpio, that when you feel all that gunk coming up and allowed to have space to splash out, and in all its full sludge, toxic crap, it's like you get a flamethrower to it and say, now bitch, you're out and I don't have to deal with you anymore. So that's why it's so strong. Now, let me see, Neptune retrograding there on June 21st around solstice, same time as the sun goes into Cancer. vacation time. If you have the few coin, get it together if you can, to go somewhere that could be just all about indulging in another culture. Or just where you want to go, let yourself be educated. Well, I don't normally eat this food, let me try it. I don't normally drink that beer or whatever, or wine, let me try it. I don't normally do this or wear these clothes, hey, let me try it. It's part of your reset to allow the introduction of something bigger in your life. So that's why the few coins to get a vacation, maybe even a spiritual vacation, or for some of you, a few coins together to study more. Very powerful. So, Scorpio, I think that's all the vibe of the energy I'm going to go with. Let me choose a few more cards for you, love. There's a few more hop out there. Yeah, Judgment. Yeah. The Moon. Yeah, the Moon is going to have a big effect on you, helping you resolve some money issues. You want more freedom to play with your money. You want to be able to take more chances, more risks, and get those few coins to play and to travel, definitely travel or educate yourself. And the Moon is somehow helping you with that. So just let me get a few more cards here, Scorpio. Yeah, that card fell out there too. Sorry, that fell out there. 3 more, my love. 2 more. Oh, that fell out. And 1 last card. Yeah. So, my beauty, let's do this thing. Ta-da! There's your big grand overview. So, Gemini season came in with a bang. Gemini, the Tower. But it's right. Whatever is being torn down to make way for something new, this is absolutely the right way to do it. Now, on a very literal level, this could be expressing itself externally, like tearing down a building, tearing down something, tearing down your bathroom to build a whole new bathroom type of thing. It's like tear it down and build it all up again. But definitely tearing down the way you've allowed people infiltrate your thoughts and your decisions and your communication. This has to go. And it could make you feel very exposed, and Scorpio energy does not like feeling exposed. With very raw Moon and Scorpio effect from last month, feeling I've lost my kind of exoshell and now I'm all a bit I have to hide because I'm all a bit raw, my exoskeleton, isn't it? So I need to kind of take care of myself now. But at the same time, I'm learning from this. I'm learning from a truth. I'm learning from what I've seen. I'm learning from getting a sudden understanding of a situation. I'm learning how to recover from something too. Communication that all went wrong. But it's more than that. Going back to this, Scorpio, it's learning about how other people always sell me snake oil, and I've always bought it. I've always just gone along assuming that they were right. And I've noticed a pattern now. I've noticed a pattern that these half-truthers have led me down these paths, and I haven't been able to make my own decisions on things for quite the time. So I'm raw here, but I'm learning. And when I build my new shell, my new exoskeleton, it is going to be stronger, bigger, to make space for me on the inside, getting stronger and bigger. Now, this is a kind of a Gemini style card. I wonder, did some of you have an absolute moment with a Gemini Sun, Moon or Ascendant where it was like, well, there it goes. I cannot have a communication with you anymore. I can't maybe be part of what you're trying to do in your life anymore. I just can't trust your communication anymore. Or maybe a Gemini Sun, Moon or Ascendant has led you down a path of destruction. Now that could be positive. It could be. Maybe they've shown you something or delivered a message to you that forced you to see everything in an entirely new way. Maybe that was part of the magic that Gemini Sun, Moon or Ascendant brought you. And for others, it's the opposite. For others, it's like your tricksterness has made this collapse for me. You've ruined something for me. It may not even be a Gemini. It's just that feeling of somebody else, because I've listened to them, it all went, ass up, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to listen to them anymore. But it seems you're getting something this month. On a literal level, you could be handed an opportunity to make money this month. You see, 8th house energy happening here is a lot to do with having a side business, a second stream of income that's not your primary salary. So money coming in from taxes, tax kind of returns, dividends, interest coming from an investment that you have, or the sale of something, or the setting up of a side project or a side hustle. There could be an opportunity here for you to do that, expand your money-making opportunities. And it might be a good thing to do, particularly if some of you are interested in going into business on a global market, like selling something to people from other cultures, other nations, or selling education. That could be also, or tools for education or spirituality. That could also be a good thing. But sharing with people that are usually outside of your immediate reach, that's something very positive. It could be a real life changer. But there is an opportunity to make new coin that gives you more freedom. And it's kind of lucky, maybe even karmically lucky. You've the North Node in the 9th house where destiny must be played out. And the 9th house is a lot to do with education, spirituality, religion, higher thought, publishing, writing, opening up a blog or like a YouTube channel or a business on social media page. Can't speak. Social media business. This could be a new lease of life for you where you get that secondary income. If you have a talent or a hobby, Neptune retrograding in the 5th house is saying, dig that up again. You were very creative with that and you were probably much better than you thought you were. Shape it up. Put all your 8th house focus into that and not all those other shitty things happening outside. And give it your full attention and maybe sell it on eBay or Etsy or Amazon or something. And you might get a few extra nice coin happening there. So they're just possibilities, But here we see, after the Tower moment, we see you now mid-month trying to salvage something, trying to salvage maybe even communication with somebody. In some cases, whatever has happened, you might be forced to salvage your reputation after whatever happened in May and to go back and to communicate on a serious level with somebody to say, did you gossip about me? Did you kind of blacken my name a little bit? I need to go back and see if we can salvage something here, if we can make serious sense of something. If not, I have to call judgment. What is it mid-month? Calling judgment on something that you're saying this is a last-ditch attempt to make peace with somebody or to try to communicate with somebody. This is the last time I'm going to do that. And if I can't salvage something from the rubble, maybe with that tricky person, then I'm going to have to look for new people to be friends with, or new people to work with, or new people to collaborate with, new people to see my skills and talents. So there is a push. There's a kind of it's like that energy of the cat. It's not like being very openly forgiving. It's more like, well, let's see, can we build something? If you say the right thing to me, then we will build our friendship or we will build our connection again. But say the wrong thing and I'm off. I'm off and I will just turn my back on you. So you're giving something a chance to be fixed, some weird communication, and you're taking this very, very seriously. It's almost the thing I hear of, I will not let you speak about me like that. It could be friend, family, even your partner or somebody in work, whatever. I will not allow you challenge me like that. I will not allow you speak to me like that. But at the same time, I'm going to give you an opportunity to fix this. If you don't fix it, then, I don't know, maybe either walk away here, or maybe I have to seriously consider, maybe even in some cases, legal action. Maybe. But I don't feel it as going ahead with legal action. I feel it more like I'm going to get advice about this. And you may not do anything more with that, but it's like going to somebody to get financial advice or legal advice, or, like professional advice and something. It's that feeling. If we can't patch this up, then you're forcing my hand to get maybe an intermediary involved here. Yeah. Maybe even if it's in your relationship, you might be at that point where mid-month you say, do we have to get a marriage guidance counsellor here, or a couples counsellor going on here? Choose your words carefully kind of thing. But the moon last month and this month are proving to be very, very, very intense. But there's a real moment where you wake up and say, you know what? I've been trying to build so much in my life, and I've been not doing it my way. Everything we talked about. I've been reacting to life instead of taking action on life. I've just been reacting, fighting fires, just going along with everybody else, and this isn't me, this isn't who I am at all. And yet here I am building structures around me, trying to stay safe and protected while I'm feeling so raw. But I wake up because maybe some news around the time of the full moon, June 17th, is being disclosed. Something is coming, but it's an inner awareness, and as I said, maybe outer news coming that finally makes you trust your intuition, where you say, look at how I've been damaging myself by not trusting myself, pushing, and not realizing that I should have been doing this for me. See, a 9 is a moment where we complete something. It's the moment where we begin to shed our skin. And for you, the heat, the passion, the intensity, going into hidden things and worrying about things and not being able to sleep about what do they think of me, almost exhausted by other people's drama and what the effect of that is doing to you. And you arrive at a point and you say, hold on a minute, protecting myself, building a wall around me, and in the end I still get battered and bruised and broken. Hold on a minute, I'm holding this magic wand. I'm holding this one back. I'm not giving more of my magic away to people who are dishonest or give me half-truths. I'm going to start using my magic in a different way. I'm going to start using my magic to get smarter and work on my own projects and put my own passion into things. Now, for a great many of you, I did say, particularly for those of you going through a challenging time with somebody, a family member, your partner, a friend, there's that real moment of you saying, I'm really over fighting about this. I'm over battling about this. I'm over giving you my energy. I'm over losing sleep about you. And all my energy now, this is another big decision that will happen, I'd say, around June 17th. What I'm going to do now is focus on making my money, focus on keeping my money, focus on keeping myself to myself, and using that intensity I have this month to put it into my passions to make more of myself. Have you been helping other people to succeed financially? Maybe lending them money or giving them your time, effort and energy to build their empire or to build their world or to build a project for them. This is a month, June 17th, around there, where you're saying, I don't know, pull back, baby, pull back. I've given you enough. Work with that. See how you get on with that, because I'm getting on with my own time. But this decision seems to bring you a better sense of security and happiness. Now, I wonder if a great many of you are doing something within your home. For some of you, let's go down this road. For some of you, the new focus and passion could be about bringing back the love in your home. Maybe bringing, I don't know, maybe some of you welcoming children, but certainly some of you welcoming a new love into your home. Maybe for the first time they cross your threshold when you invite them to your home or to a place that you call home, maybe to meet the family even. You invite them there for the first time. But the people that you have living within your home, there's a much better sense of getting on with each other by the time the end of the month comes. But inviting love, people that you love to your home, or maybe you go into their home, there's something very nice about that. This could be a celebration of love that you and your family are involved in. So I know it's June, usually wedding season in the Northern Hemisphere particularly. Maybe there's a great moment of love that you find there, and another expression of love. So you go to a wedding where there's a declaration of love, and maybe you find love at that wedding. Or if you and your partner go to, say, a wedding, I'm just using that, or a place where there's an announcement of love, you could rekindle that love for each other too. But you're feeling like you've accomplished a more secure relationship with people who really do matter to you by the time the month ends. But look, the moon has shown you where to be putting your hard work and effort. By the time, you're a quick learner, Scorpio, gotta hand it to you. By the time this month ends, you're saying, no, I'm going to work on my own shit now. Get creative, get super focused. Work on my side hustle. And work on putting all my energy into making my dreams come true. But there's also the energy of working with your head down. So almost excluding competition, excluding the naysayers, excluding the information that you probably could have depended on before. It's just me, and I'm surrounding myself with the work that I'm doing. I'm engrossed in it, and I'm moving ahead. And in some cases, there might be a moment here, again, because of the full moon in the second house, where you start to weigh up whether you need a little bit of coin to borrow some money to start this side hustle or to get an investment going. Or do you need to invest a little bit in this? That's the big question that's on your mind as you leave the month. Do I need to borrow? Do I need to lend? Do I need to really work on this thing of my debts? Can I figure out how to manage my money better? But here's the other thing. By the end of the month, Scorpio, you will be very immersed in your work, with Mercury going into Leo, into the 10th house. And this seems to, it's almost like a thing that cleanses your mind and focused on work and nothing else. And this focus kind of allows me, it's almost like a hypnotism. The work hypnotizes the active part of my conscious mind. It shuts it down so that when my monkey mind, the mind that's spinning round, is shut down because I'm focused on my work, then I'm able to feel out a better judgment on the people and the situations in my life. Who do I give my time, effort and energy to? Who do I give money to? If somebody's asking you for a loan of money, you're able to kind of now say, I should be a bit more discerning about this. Maybe I've been too free to hand out money like bloody candies. Maybe I should just be more discerning about this. So it's a very healthy space you end up with. You're very focused on work at the end of the month. And like I said, it's okay, it might border a little bit on being a workaholic by the end of the month, but it does seem to focus your mind long enough to be able to see the truth of some other situation. So it's an intense month for you, Scorpio, but a powerfully magic month where you're allowed to grow and be free. It's like Freddie Mercury, I want to break free. Yeah, it's a bit like you. You want to break free, and I think you will. I definitely think you will. Scorpio, I'm going to leave it at that, my beauty, but you know that these are the general energies, the emotional and energetic landscape of the month. To get into the real nitty-gritty, the fine details, you know, to come to the VIMEO reading where we focus on couples, what's going on with you and your partner. We focus on the singles to see if the magician is doing his work there for love. We focus on money and career, seems to be quite important for you this month. Family and friends, also important. And anything else that we didn't touch upon here in the general read, we'll go deep, 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 deep into all of that in the deep read in Vimeo. Link down there below. Come along again, Scorpio, this month, and we'll open that bitch right out. And if you haven't been there before, come along, check it out. I think you might like it. So I'm going to leave it at that, my beautiful. Enjoy this powerful month. Enjoy it and get the most out of it. And focus on what you want from all of this power from this month. And you'll do great. I'm going to leave it at that, my gorgeous. As always, I'm going to leave you with all my love and a great, great big kiss from me to you. Mwah. Until next month, Scorpio.